is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, and we're just about to start the 9H HAM GlobalNet for today, the 10th of October 2024. This is the 92nd edition of the 9H HAM GlobalNet. We've been going on every 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks, for 92 iterations, for 92 events. So today is the 92nd one, and before we start the net, I'm going to ask whether there is any emergency traffic. Is there any emergency traffic before we start the net? Hearing none. QST. This is Anthony, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. And as we have been doing during the last few nets, we have changed from a controlled net to an open net. So I won't be directing any stations, and stations are free to ask questions, to pass comments, and as they feel comfortable. We are currently on the 9H1 UHFR repeater. We are on the 9H1 DMR repeater, and we are also streaming on YouTube on the 9H HAM GlobalNet YouTube channel for the repeaters. So before we start, I'm going to publicly thank all the people who actually do work in the background and allow us to use their equipment. So we like to thank 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox, Stephen, which was actually his idea to start off this net, and 7APW, Jerry, and 9H1 FPS, Charles, for the several times that they took control or directed the net. 9H5 Sierra November, 9H1 Golf Papa, who are the curators for the 9H1 UHFR repeater, and 9 Hotel 1 Uniform Sierra and Herbert 9 Hotel 1 Delta Hotel are the curators of the 9H1 DMR repeater, and thanks to them for allowing us to use the repeater for this net. And I'd also like to thank Glenn, 9 Hotel 5 Yankee Victor, because he has allowed us to use the graphics and theme of the 9H HAM Radio Facebook page, which he administers. So the agenda for tonight will be a very interesting presentation on 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra River, and we'll be talking about vector network analyzer. What can be done with devices. This is 9 Foxtrot Alpha. So before we start, I will start asking for check-ins. Please check in with your name, your call sign, and wait for about 5 seconds. For one reason, to give me time to write it out, to type it out, and the other reason to allow a gap between check-ins. So please come in with your name and call sign in phonetic alphabet. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Hello, Tony. Checking in. Trevor Samut, 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra is here, of course. Module.
9 Hotel 2 Juliet Golf checking in.
9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra Charlie.
And 7 APW Jerry.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. So I am acknowledging 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, River, 9 Hotel 1 Japan Lima, Joe. And then I missed the call sign. Someone checked in, but signal was very weak and I hadn't picked it up. So please repeat call sign and check in again. I also have 9 Hotel 2 Juliet Golf, Jonathan. I have 9 Hotel 1 Foxtrot Bravo Sierra, Charles. And I have November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, Jerry. So could the station I missed please check in again? This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Hey, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox. Keep on the signal Bash and Monsumma. Inside Milcom, 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox standing by.
Nine Hotel 1 Sierra Fox. L-ewwel ma fimnik, xi ma fimnik tajjeb. 9 Hotel Sierra Fox acknowledged. Are there any more check-ins coordinates? If there are any more check-ins, please give your name and call sign in phonetic alphabet. Okay, hearing none. I'll invite 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, Trevor, to give us a short talk on these little VNAs, vector network analyzers. After he sort of gives his presentation, I'll ask for some further late check-ins, and then we can provide feedback, ask questions, perhaps there are to use these devices. I've ordered one for myself, but it hasn't arrived yet, so I'm inviting Hotel 5 Tango about VNAs.
Trevor, can you please give me a break before we start? Do you mind if I take the mic before you start? 981 Jabari.
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Okay, everybody, there's we are connected also. First and foremost, before we start this net, I believe we should mention Jean-Marc Vella, son of 9H1 called Papa Mark. As most of you know, he passed away on Sunday, and tomorrow we will be having his funeral at 8:30 in the morning at our church. Jean-Marc was an angel also already when he was here with us, and now has gone to be with the Lord, and now without any pain whatsoever, he gets his reward, which is truly deserved. I think this mention is most important because Mark was his father. Papa is one of the teachers helping out with this to observe a minute of silence as we usually do. But it's not a moment of loss really, because he's a treasure. He's been a treasure to his parents, Mark and Joanne, and he will continue to be their treasure for sure, because now he will be taking care of them from above. So that is what I wanted to say. 9H5 Foxtrot Alpha Group, 9H1 Alpha.
Japan Lima, this is 9H5 Foxtrot Alpha. Yes, thank you very much for that for that news. It is extremely sad news, and I've actually we've seen it online, and I've had friends tell me. I mean, Jean-Marc was, as you say, an angel, and his parents are also angels. They did all they could to make him live the most fulfilling life. And yeah, I am fortunately tomorrow I'm tied up with a conference which I can't miss, because otherwise I would have come to the funeral for sure. I'd like, on the name of the net, I'd like to pass on the deepest condolences to the family. And if anyone's going to the funeral, 9 Hotel 1 Golf Papa specifically asked that no one wears black. So if anyone goes, we'll respect his wishes. And I think it's a really good, nice idea. The floor, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Joe, if there's anything you wish to add, please go ahead and do so. Otherwise, I'll pass on the mic to Trevor to give his presentation. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, the occasion. Anyway, thank you for continuing on my mention of Jean-Marc. And just a note before I leave, I'll be standing by if I can follow, I will try and follow. But just this time, but I'm trying to follow up on whatever Trevor is going to say to us. Just one last note, next week it's Jamboree week, and as usual I'll be setting up the station for the start of Musta this time. I don't believe we are having any visiting groups, so this time it's all for the Musta. Activity will be at the Tarja factory. I will be setting up the antenna Thursday evening after 5 o'clock. Anybody wants to come over and help out? I will start operating on Friday very okay, that's it. I'm done with it. Thank you very much, guys. Here's the net. So over to you, Trevor. And start from your the topic that you have to. before you leave, I guess I believe that we should check in with CTO of the IAD so that we can talk exactly with you. Over to you, Andy, and you can start manage that box that coming on the high.
Making it into the machine and 7APW. If someone's going to attend the service, please, if you remember, pass my sincere condolences to Mark and his family. Mark and I have known each other for decades, and it is sad news. Back to the net.
And 7APW with this 9H HAM GlobalNet. Yeah, thank you very much for that comment. And although it is a very sad day and very sad time for the family, I'm sure that Mark is now enjoying his well-earned and well-deserved peace and prize. I'm sure he's looking down and perhaps returning back in terms of prayers or all that his family have done for him. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Back to the net.
(9H5FA), this is 9H5TS. Let me know net control, so when I should be able to start, yes?
Tango Sierra, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, yes, please go ahead. And thanks for accepting to give us this short presentation. Please just remember to pause every 3 minutes or so to avoid repeaters signing out. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, mic to 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is Trevor, 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra, and it's a real pleasure to be with you all, guys. I'm very sorry and condolences to the family of Marco on the sad news that was just communicated with us. I saw that on Facebook, so yeah, condolences to the family there. All right, so the topic of today is about VNA, specifically the nano VNA, because I know it's popular with the ham radio community. Chief reason might be the price of it, but I must say that the performance of it is impressive for the price, and it's quite a bit of a nightmare out there to choose the correct model. It's very likely that these models are clones, though that's a bit hard to prove unless you open it and analyze it, electronically. And there are many sub-variants of it, so it's a total mess on choosing the correct one. I'm not saying one is better over the other, but my particular model is the Nano VNA F for Foxtrot, and the reason I chose that model is when I was looking at it was the spectrum it covers, as well as the features that it has. So yeah, the idea is to keep this talk as well interactive. I'll start by putting out there a bit of an introduction, nothing long, so then we can have a chat about it later. Giving a quick break for the repeater to catch up. Net control, 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, this is 9H5TS. Just a quick radio check whether you can hear me correctly, loud and clear.
Hotel 5 Tango Sierra. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Loud and clear. Perfect. As though we're sitting at the same table. Back to 9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra.
That's very good. I need to clear space on this table, so even a small kid won't fit. So, but that's good to know. Okay, so what is a vector network analyzer? Okay, the core features. Let's focus a bit on the core features. So, one of the core features you buy a VNA for, right, is a vector network analysis function. The network VNA measures impedance, essential impedance of radio frequency circuits across a range of frequencies. Usually these models have that scripted on the sales page, right? And this is ideal for tuning antennas, transmission lines, and matching networks. Normally we have radio operators like create our own antenna, and you would like to know where is it resonant at, right? So that's the key question that this device answers with a good amount of precision, I must say. For the price, right? Always for the price. So this device gives you insight in your RF system's performance, and of course then it helps you make adjustments, because you can leave it scanning and you can do adjustment to your antenna to see where you're at, what you're doing on the RF side of things, which is of course invisible except for the VNA. So the VNA makes the invisible very visible for you. So that's great. Another key feature is the S parameter measurement. The nano VNA, of course, excels at measuring reflection coefficient. That's S11. It's known as S11 on the. It's usually very clearly labeled on the device itself, and it has another SMA socket which does the transmission coefficient, the S21, right? What's being reflected. So that's why it's one is the reflection coefficient, sorry, and the other is transmission coefficient, transmitting and see what's bouncing back. The ham radio, for ham radio, this is crucial for understanding antenna matching. That's the usual SWR, which is the popular name we always look at, okay, or log mag. Power reflection and signal transmission efficiency through components. So yeah, a quick break again for the repeater to catch up. Alright, and it usually has a touchscreen display, a very nice touchscreen display. They give you as well, these Chinese versions give you the little stylus pen kind of thingy, which comes in handy because the screen is not too big. But I have the 4.3-inch one, which is what I recommend. Don't go smaller than that, even if you have super eyes, which I don't have. But in case you do have super eyes, your eyes are very good, it's still going to be a struggle to read all the data that this device gives you. Better still, you can connect it via USB to a PC. I connect it to my Linux machine here, but software is also available for Windows. And you can see everything on a big screen then, and even extract data that way, and you can do analysis even further using the software. Which software is usually free, and it's available on GitHub, so that's great. One of the ways it displays information is via a Smith chart. I won't go into the details on how you should read a Smith chart, because I think that would deserve specific expertise first of all, and as well as a longer time than we have here. But essentially, it's a visual representation of complex impedance, right, over a span of the spectrum that the device is scanning. So you give it a start and an end to swipe continuously. And the Smith chart allows you to quickly assess how your antenna or circuit, could be a circuit, right, is behaving across the frequencies, making impedance matching much more intuitive. So you can have the 50 ohms, you can see it on the side there, and try to aim for that. That is usually what ham radio operators tend to do, right? So, and then you have the sweep and frequency range settings. My VNA, the Nano VNA-F, covers from 900, covers from very low frequencies up to 900 megahertz or 1.5 gigahertz. I think my model does 1.5 gigahertz actually, yes. But depending on the model, you should check what the coverage is there. And the Nano's VNA has a very wide, normally has a wide sweeping range, which lets you test and tune equipment for different amateur radio bands, ensuring peak performance. Of course, the wider you put the range, the less resolution you have, in terms of frequencies. But normally, it's advisable to say search just a band by band, right? So 2 meters or UHF, for example, and start there. Giving a break for the repeater to catch up. Right, and so my Nano VNA, the F version, the Foxtrot version, this is of interest to Tony, perhaps, who just ordered a particular model. The F version, as I was playing around with it, I discovered it has TDR, and trust me, if you just buy this device for TDR, it's worth it just for this function. So TDR is time domain reflectometry, right? It's exclusive to the Nano VNA F version, if I'm not mistaken. And what is a TDR? It's a function that helps identify fault in cables by sending a signal, sends a signal through the cable, and measures very sensitively reflections. So if you have a kink in the cable, like there's a damage in the cable, right? That's affecting RF. RF is bouncing back to you, and then this device, the Nano VNA F, is going to tell you, hey, there's a glitch in the cable, there's something wrong at, say, 17.5 meters away from you. So you can actually measure, it measures reflections that way, and you can know exactly on the cable where the defect is. So as you can imagine, this is very handy to relocate cable faults, breaks, or impedance mismatches caused by the cable. And of course, this is fantastic. You'll save a lot of time in troubleshooting long coax runs. I happen to have 40 meters for HF and another 40-meter run of cable here at my QTH. One is for VHF, UHF, and the other is for HF. So it's nice to know that my cable is functioning perfectly fine, and if I have problems, it's either the antenna or the radio or the tuner. So that's good to know, right? So and it's also great for measuring the exact length of cables. When I say exact, it's pretty exact. At least in my case, it was very, very exact. I was impressed. Essentially for ensuring transmission lines are within specifications. And I was pleasantly surprised at this function, because to buy a TDR, it's usually like very, very expensive equipment. Giving you a bit of a brief break for the repeater to catch up. Finally, just to mention two important points on this nifty little device, which I love so much. It's portable and very affordable. I think it cost me around 135 euro. This version that I have, it's very portable. It has a built-in battery, a touch screen, and it's amazing compared to full-size VNAs, really. Especially for the cost, once again, because to buy like a proper VNA, you have to run into thousands for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's a go-to tool for, especially for field work. You're not carrying like a big heavy backpack equipment or some power supply to power it up. It's self-contained, and it's really, really handy for antenna testing and on-the-spot tuning. Fantastic device. I highly recommend it. I personally think no ham radio operator should be without it, really. And another feature is awesome of it is the real-time data it produces, even on PC. And that way you can have live graphs, data. You can instantly see how adjustments to your setup is affecting performance, and you have like a quick feedback loop for optimizing your system, right? So yeah, I think in a nutshell, this is what this wonderful little device is all about. Don't be overwhelmed the first time you get it. Go on YouTube and start the tutorial and seeing step by step on how to measure like a simple coil or a simple antenna that you have is functioning fine. So let's say you have a VHF antenna, it's working perfectly fine, you know, it's spec from factory, and test that. So you can see the results are what you're expecting, right? And remember, for every measurement, every time you change the frequency range, you need to calibrate it. There are YouTube videos which are very, very clear on how you calibrate it. And the calibration samples, the calibration devices are provided with the device. They give you an open, a close, and a 50 ohms load with it, which is nice to have, and an essential part of this device. What I found handy is to also buy several adapters, like reverse SMA, male, female, barrel, and all that stuff, because antennas, as you know, the connectors come in all shapes and flavors. And yeah, I've tested my HF antenna, my cables, VHF, UHF, yeah, and I love it. So I'll give a bit of a break there. I don't know if there are any questions. I'll let net control the command go back to you, Tony. Maybe you want to say something at yourself or control a bit the question and answers if there are any. This is 9H5TS. Back to you, net control.
This is 905 Foxtrot Alpha. Thanks, 9H5 Tango Sierra. Just a short parenthesis. I'm not net control anymore, and no one is actually. We've changed this to an open net, so stations can just say their call sign and talk without actually going through any net controller. Before we continue, I'd like to ask if there are any late check-ins. Are there any late check-ins for the net? Could you please state your call sign and name? This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
G0 BIA, Ian. I've been listening quite a long time. My condolences to Marco, please, and very sad. G0 BIA.
This is Kilo Kilo 4 Romeo Yankee Golf Forenza, Anchorage, Alaska, USA. My condolences also. Back to you, net control.
Thank you. So acknowledge Golf 0 Bravo and Alpha and Kilo Kilo 4 Romeo Yankee Golf. Thank you for checking in, and we appreciate. I mean, I'm sure Mark and his family will appreciate the condolences. So thank you very much for those. Are there any questions or comments or anything regarding VNAs which you'd like to put forward to Trevor? Please just take your call sign and go ahead. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
I'm 7 APW, and good evening to everybody. Running on a low battery today, but I hope you can hear me well. Trevor, does it matter what type of coax cable you are doing readings on? You know, RJ58, Hardline, 214, 9913, you know, and all the others that I've forgotten. Also, could you repeat the name of the complete name of the device? And obviously there are different models. You chose the F, and I think you said it goes up to 900 megahertz, and there's another one that goes even higher than that. What's the low frequency that it starts at? Is it below medium wave, perhaps long wave? You know, 1.8 to 2.5, and 7 APW. Back to you.
Yes, thanks for the question there. So it starts, so let's, I'm looking it up for you because it starts pretty low, essentially kilohertz. So it's not going to be a problem. It either won't be a problem either for any of your cables. What's important is in the case of cables, it's good to know the velocity factor of your cable. So that probably changes. You usually can find it spec'd on the cable manufacturer. And essentially the velocity factor is the measure of how fast signals travel through the cable, right? Compared to the speed of light in a vacuum, of course. So you can adjust this in the settings of the nano VNA, and that will, if that's correct and given up to spec, then that's a very good. You get a very good result for your cable. So I'll check the lowest frequency it can go for you, but it goes into kilohertz if I'm not mistaken. Back to you.
Okay, very good. Can you repeat the whole name of the device, if you can, please?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I just forgot that part of the question. The device that I have is the Nano VNA hyphen F, F for Foxtrot, right? So it's Nano VNA, the F model. The F model has this time domain reflectometry in it. There are others, and others are very good as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tony just bought one that goes up to 3 gigahertz. And my model has a frequency range, I looked it up for you just now, that starts at 50 kilohertz. So it starts at 50 kilohertz, really, really low. So surely it's not a problem for ham radio there. And it will go up to 1.5 gigahertz in my case, right? But yeah, the lowest frequency it can handle is actually 50 kilohertz, at least on paper, right? So at least on paper. Roger?
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you for all the information and your presentation as well. Very well done. Yeah, because eventually, at some point in time, we're going to get some some geostationary satellite around here, and I definitely would want an antenna for that. You already have it over there, obviously, and it's a lot of fun. I'm sure 9H1 Echo Sugar. Wherever he is, his ears might be burning, but he could tell us all about that. I actually listen to him quite a bit on the QO100 from time to time. All right, thank you very much. November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey.
Excellent. Nice to have your questions there, and on the topic of this wonderful, nifty little device. For the price it is, I mean, it's pretty much, an essential tool for the price. It's quite amazing, really. So I'm up for more questions if anyone have more questions. This is 9H5TS standing by.
Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Actually, Trevor, the model I ordered, because I'm seeing it online now, starts off at a higher frequency than yours. It starts off at 1 megahertz. It doesn't go into kilohertz. But it goes up to 6 gigahertz. So we join my and your device together, we have a perfect range. Back to the floor. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Is there any other people who'd like to ask questions, pass any comments? Please go ahead.
That information, Tony, it's fantastic. I'm curious to see what the results you'll get if you scan a 5 gigahertz antenna. So please do that experiment for me. I might have a 5 gigahertz antenna somewhere, or a multi-band one, for you to test. It could be Wi-Fi, ISM band, whatever. So please give that a shot, because I'll be amazed if that device can actually be accurate that high. But it's you never know. Yeah, it starts. You see, so it depends on the model. So that's the moral of the story. You have to check the model, and because there's so much variances between these models, and they cost roughly around the same price range. So yeah, do check the documentation that they normally have, right? So be careful. Yeah, so that's important. I'm open for questions. This is 9H5TS.
9 Hotel 2, Juliet Golf question.
Go ahead.
A rubber ducky or a hand antenna or something like that. Is it suggested to make some form of ground plane or metal plate or something, or we can just connect the antenna directly to a VNA? This is 9 Hotel 2, Juliet Golf.
Thanks for the question. I'm Hotel 2 Juliet Golf. It's 19H5TS. What I would recommend is that you test your antenna in the normal operating way that you'll be operating it. So if it's on a rooftop, if it's, I don't know, the polarization, I would personally check it in accordance to how it's going to be used. Because if you're changing it later, then it's kind of like the measurement is doesn't count, right? It might be change the properties somehow. So that's what I recommend, but you can test it. It will still give a reading either way, but I think the most sensitive reading would be a setup ready to transmit antenna, and then you test it with the VNA. So I hope you got all of that. This is 9H5TS.
Nine H5TS, 9H6AG, and thanks for that, Trevor. No, but my main question was, when checking, let's say I bought a new rubber ducky for my handheld, and I want to check that antenna. How I'm gonna check it? Shall I make a ground plane? Shall I connect it directly? Shall I install it on a mag mount or on a bracket on the car? I mean, it was always in the back of my mind, because if you check it on a mag mount and then you check it on directly to the VNA, measurements vary and vary a lot, as you well said before. But what is the proper way to check a handheld antenna, a normal rubber ducky? 9 Hotel 1 Tango Sierra, 9 Hotel 2 Juliet Golf.
The way I've checked rubber duckies is I remove them from the radio, right? You need the adapter. Of course, you calibrate the VNA, and you just check it as it is, just the rubber ducky, right? Now, what changes, because, you know, VNA is going to show you how RF is changing. And RF changes all the time with position, everything, right? But what's important, I think, in the case of a rubber ducky is how lossy it is, how mismatched it might be. And you'll be surprised that rubber duckies are quite nasty antennas, but they work, and they are portable, and they are slow. And you realize a lot of difference between brands. So an original Yaesu will mark different from whatever some Chinese brand you might have, or a diamond will work differently, and a factory-made one, professionally factory-made one, will just be very relatively sharp compared to a generic one. So yeah, and then I would suggest that you do the same experiment. You take the same antenna, and then you put it on the mag mount, and the values will change because the RF will change, because in reality things change. So that's why the VNA will show you different results, because the physics is changing all the time. Over.
Thanks for the answer, Trevor. Got you, and I got your point. And yes, well said. Clone antennas sometimes can be very, very nasty. And when checking this same antenna directly on VNA, and then on a mag mount or somewhere else, parameters change as well. One other thing that I personally noticed as well is the location where you check the VNA. If you're gonna check it in a small room, it gives you with the same antenna, with the same. I'm saying same antenna, same VNA, same things. If you check it in a room or in a shack or somewhere indoor, it gives you a value, while checking it outside in an open area, it gives you another value. Mike, back to you, and thanks for answering my question, Trevor. This is mine, Hotel 2 Juliet Golf.
You're welcome. Yes, of course. Make sure you're calibrated correctly. If you're in doubt, recalibrate, recalibrate, and recalibrate. Take several readings. Readings should be the same if you're not touching or moving the antennas or anything to your antenna. So that's how you know that the VNA is doing its job. But yes, in a shack it's different from going on a rooftop. If you're barefoot, you're touching the antenna, things change. And that's because they really change in reality. The universe, that's how the universe works, right? On that antenna. So that's why the readings will differ there. But of course, you do always make sure that you're calibrated and you're seeing that the 50 ohms load is properly marking 50 ohms on the Smith chart and that kind of thing. So you're not introducing some new losses or new weird or an extra antenna which you don't know about, which might be a little coax pigtail like a patch lead or something that you did not compensate for. That changes a lot of things, so you have to be careful there. Even if you're testing the mag mount and you just want to know what the antenna is doing, maybe you want to put the calibration at the very end and recalibrate. But the calibrating thingy, the calibrating loads, you put them at the end to calibrate the VNA and see how that works. Okay, so yeah, I think we have a few more minutes. I'll take another question. This is 9H5TS.
And 7APW. Bill, I can G3TZM and the group and 7APW. I can see you're trying to transmit on Echolink, but I don't hear any audio. I don't know whether it's just me or anybody else too. But try one more time, Bill. I know you're in there, and Bill is obviously has been here quite a while, Anthony. G3TZM with the 9H HAM GlobalNet, November 7 Alpha Papa Whiskey, then I'll have questions, unless I forget them.
Yeah, N7APW and the group from G3TZM. You copying now, Jerry?
Kind of interesting. I see you connected directly to the repeater, and I also see you connected to Charlie, I think. But yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, great. From G3TZM. Yeah, I'm not sure what's gone wrong, but I connected the computer in the usual way, which I've done for years, many years, and this evening it doesn't seem to work. Villa Shia Tayeb Kulhat for a start. And yeah, thanks. I have a VNA. And it's very, very useful. And for testing areas, you can connect it directly. You can use for something like a rubber ducky. You can connect it directly to the VNA because if you've got the correct adapters to adapt it to the VNA, you can connect it directly, and that's just the same as using it on a handheld. If you want to connect it with a piece of coax and park it somewhere else, you can do that and check it again. But like was said, you must calibrate the VNA every time you use it. That's the only drawback. The only drawback is having to calibrate it every time you use it. But that doesn't take long. It's only a few moments, not even minutes. If you once you get used to it, you can calibrate very, very quickly. But it's very, very useful. And for information, Jerry, it's November Alpha November Oscar Nano, and then the initials VNA, Vector Network Analyzer, Nano VNA, N7APW G3TZM.
Okay, thank you very much, Bill. And you know, I'm in my mind is comparing it to an SWR meter, except you don't have to introduce any RF into the system to take your readings, whether it's forward or reflected, etc., etc., etc. I do have another question to both of you, but obviously it comes in handy because you know, you crank up some RF to measure up SWR, and you better not be touching that antenna, especially on HF. I've heard 50 ohm impedance mentioned, but I didn't hear anything about 75 and 300 and points in between. Does the VNA cater for that too?
We doubled. I had a questions there, another question there. So can you repeat the question again, please? Sorry, we doubled on top of each other. I'm standing by for the question.
Was that directed to me and 7APW?
I think so. The question was ending in does the VNA cater for that as well? But I didn't understand the first part of the question. Cater for what exactly? So that's the part needs repetition for me, please.
Okay, the question was, I've heard you mention 50 ohms as an impedance on coax, but does it also cater for other impedances like 75 and 300 flat line and give you correct readings on them as well? And do you have to change anything, or does it calibrate on its own?
Okay. This is 9 Hotel 5, Tango here with the group. Negative, no, the Nano VNA is designed for a 50 ohm impedance system, which is the standard, of course, for most RF applications, ham radio antennas and transmission lines. Researching this a bit for you, if you need to work with different impedance systems, like 75 ohms for TV perhaps, or maybe a 75 ohm cable, then you can use appropriate impedance matching networks or adapters to ensure accurate measurements. But I doubt it will give you like good results. So assume it's a 50 ohms reference for the system, right?
Bad, because I'm used to 75 ohms more than anything else, but I'm sure I can change. Thank you very much. That's kind of bad. I didn't expect that one. And 7APW.
I understand. I understand that, but 50 ohms is kind of a kind of standard, so to speak, an unscripted one, I guess, which became very popular as we went along. There's also, anyway, you know, the history of that, all of that. Yeah, but I don't know if there are nano VNAs maybe specifically designed for 75 ohm systems. I would prefer to buy that rather than put all these impedance matching networks, because then you're going to have a lot of fail points and can become a bit of a nightmare to determine where your trouble is. So the cleaner you are in a system, of course, and we all know this, right? Then the easier the troubleshooting is going to be. At least that's in my opinion. So yeah, thank you very much for the questions and for the time and for the opportunity to have this little chat with you guys on VNA quickly. And Tony, I know you are not net control, so very sorry about that. But I think we have a popular vote that you are the most welcoming, and you have the experience of a net control. So, and you're good at the hellos, and you're very good at the goodbyes as well. So I'm passing the microphone back to you, so you can end this wonderful net. And well done for the net participants, as well the organizers, Fox and the team. It's been amazing, and I'm always very happy to participate as much as I possibly can. This is 9H5TS, Trevor. Nice to be with the group. Microphone back to you, Tony. Back to 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Go ahead.
9 Hotel 5 Tango Sierra. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Thank you for your feedback. You brought a smile to my face. I'm not sure exactly how to respond to that, but I think probably the best way is, if I'm doing anything good, I've been told by the best. The best is among us. Is there anyone else who would like to pass any more comments or ask any questions before we close the net? This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
9H1 Mike Fox. The name is Walter. I've got a comment to pass. Roger.
Fox, I acknowledge you, and I've listed you with the check-ins. Thank you very much for checking in. Please go ahead with your comments. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, I've got some information. The celebration of the farewell of Gene Mark is going to transmit it on YouTube. Just put the farewell of Gene Mark Vella, and you will be connected to stream live, Roger.
Thanks a lot for that, Walter. That's really big news. Do you think we can post it on the 9H HAM Facebook page? I'm not sure if it's been posted already, but I'm looking at it now, and I don't think I can see it. Could I ask sort of where you got this information from? Because it's something we could spread around, tonight. 9 Hotel 1 Mike Fox. This is 9 Hotel 5 Fox Alpha.
9H1 5 Foxtrot Alpha, 9H1 Mike Fox. I was sent the link by Marco, 9H5SN, yesterday. The farewell of Gene Marguerra, 11/10/2024 at 0:30 CST, live from Parish Church of St. Francis Assisi. So if you just type the farewell of Gene Marguerra, you will be directed to the page on YouTube, Roger.
Hotel 1 Mike Fox. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Yes, while you're talking, I found that Facebook page. It's John Mark's Facebook page, and there is a post and with a link to the YouTube channel where it will be streamed. And there is also a request to, rather than send flowers, send donations to the NGO called STAND, Sierra Tango Alpha November Delta, which means striving towards ability, not disability. And John Mark was part of this association. Yeah, I think I'll take this post and I'll repost it on the 9H HAM page, because it's seen by much more radio amateurs, I guess. And yeah, we can also post it on Marl and the Mark pages and the MIRC. Walter, I'll cross post. 9 Hotel 1 Mike Fox, this is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, please remind me your name because I cannot remember it. I know it, but I cannot remember it. Got it, Anthony.
Positive, Walter. It's Anthony. Anthony and my surname is Fennick. Back to the net. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, one more thing, Anthony. I will appreciate it if you do the links there because my wife been calling me for about 5 minutes to have generator. Yesterday Marco sent it to me and no one mentioned it, so I decided to mention it myself. It's at 8:30 CST, Roger?
Roger, yes, yes, that's exactly the information which is on John Mark's Facebook page. So I'll post this to the 3 amateur radio Facebook pages when we finish this net. Yeah, I can join electronically, but I can't be there physically because I'm involved in an online conference all day tomorrow. But I can still sort of, don't look at my computer and look at the stream instead. Thanks, Walter. Thanks a lot for this. 9 Hotel 1 Mike Fox with 9 HAM GlobalNet. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Roger, Auntie. It comes in handy especially for the friends that are abroad. That cannot be physically edited. So on YouTube, I'm sure that Mark got a lot of friends that knew John Mark there. So that will be a bonus for them.
I agree perfectly. Are there any further feedback or comments for the net this evening from anyone? This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha with the 9 HAM GlobalNet.
Yeah, I must have missed it. What time does the stream start?
Okay.
At 08:30 CST. Roger, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Walter, and good evening to you. It's nice to hear you. I know your wife is calling you, but 73 is for now, and I'll be just standing by. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Jerry, and good morning to you there. I've got to excuse myself there. I say 73 to all the net participants there because I've got to run. 73 and take care all.
Yeah, 73 Walter, and thank you very much from G32ZM.
have a question for you, Bill.
Jerry, you and I doubled. I'm not sure if Bill heard you or me. So could you perhaps repeat, please? This is 9 Hotel Type Foxtrot Alpha.
Okay, I'll try again. I had a question for Bill. Do you still have any 75 ohm antennas slash coax slash anything? And have you used the meter to do any of that? Or do you have to have a whole bunch of other accessories to do that? I'm just curious. I still have a lot of the old stuff, and most of the antennas are 75 ohm, although they're packed away, and most of my coax is 75 ohms. So this is a pretty interesting area for me, and 7APW.
Seven APW from G3TZM. Yeah, I've only got 50 ohm. Everything I've got now is 50 ohm. I used to, as a professional communications manager, I had my own company, and the only time I ever used 75 ohm coax myself was when somebody gave me a folded dipole aerial, which he'd taken the balun out, and unfortunately, this stupid idiot had connected the 50 ohm directly to the dipole connections, and it wouldn't work. So I had to make a transformer with 75 ohm coax, and that brought it down so I could use it at 50 ohms. And I had that on the house here for a number of years, and it's been replaced with a proper 50 ohm folded dipole, which works extremely well. And I've connected it with UR67 or RG213, and I also have Andrew Heliax on the UHF aerials here. So there we are. Just as an aside, mention of Jean-Marc earlier on, when they visited here in the UK, Jean-Marc and Mark and Joanna actually came to the house here, and I built a ramp for his wheelchair to come into the conservatory and into the house, and it was great for them to be able to come to us. They thoroughly enjoyed it, and also when they flew back from Liverpool, the aircraft actually flew directly overhead our house. We tracked it on radar, and it flew directly across the top of us on their way back to Malta. And a piece of news, unfortunately we're going to miss the funeral, but we will join in tomorrow morning from here on YouTube. But we're flying out to Malta on Monday morning. We're flying to Malta Monday. So I should be in Malta, and somebody's already arranged a meal for us on Wednesday evening. And I've got some presentation work to do as well while I'm there, some communications training. N7APW G3TZM.
Well, very good, Bill. Thank you very much for that. And if somebody sees Mark, please pass my condolences. We've known each other for 60 years. I can't believe it, but we were still kids when we started knowing each other way back. And here we still are. So it's sad news, very sad news. But life must go on, I'm sure. And it's tough. It's very tough. I can vouch for that. All right. Thank you very much, guys, for everything. I've enjoyed the net, and thank you, Tony, for hosting the net, or Anthony. Very well done. I keep telling you, you're good. And hopefully I'll get my voice back if the smoke goes away, and I'll be able to talk throughout a whole net, because I can't do it right now. 5 minutes max, and then the battery goes low again. 9H5FA with the 9H HAM GlobalNet, November 7, Alpha Papa Whiskey. Thank you very much, guys. It's been very enjoyable.
Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Thanks, Jerry, but as I said before, if I'm doing anything good, I've been told by the best. Is there anything else for the net this evening before we close the net? If there's anything else for the net, please just state your call sign and go ahead. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha.
Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha, 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox. Returning, and good evening to everybody. Yes, we will be attending. Just one more thing before the net closes, as Joe already explained before, but he was coming in and out of the repeater really low down. Next week is the Jamboree for the Scouts, and he will be setting up in Mosta, as he's already mentioned. We'll be setting up at Mtarfa, at the club itself. Why? Because there will be about 7 to 9 groups coming over the Saturday and maybe Sunday morning. Why there's that many groups? There's the group of Baden Powell Scouts, which have about 7 groups come up all through the day, different ages from the little ones to the big guys in the afternoon. And also we have another 2 groups of the Scouts, not Baden Powell Scouts, the Scouts. We have 2 groups coming for the first time. And another, the Scouts from next door, the other Scouts next door to us, have asked, that they would like to come over, and so we're giving them the opportunity also to come over. So we have got 2 groups from the Scouts and Baden Powell Scouts, about another 7. So if there's anybody that would like to come and just spend half an hour or whatever with the kids, with their, and give a helping hand, more than welcome to. As always, Joe says, the more the merrier, and we can always use an extra helping hand from Joe's side also, and from our side also. Anyway, I would like to say 73s, and thank you for this lovely net, and well done, Trevor, again, once again. We've already there. I have a Shark 110 analyzer, and also got the rig expert. So yes, they're fun little toys to play with. Anyway, I'll say 73s, and back to you, Tony, and thank you once again. 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha from 9 Hotel 1 Sierra Fox.
I have a question on 7APW. Okay, here's my question. What times are you operating Boy Scout Jamboree on the air, Stephen, both you and Joe's group? And will you be monitoring 9H1 UHF and 7APW?
We'll be on from the early morning. The club will only open up the club early morning, and then whatever time the Scouts appear. Like I said, there's about 7 groups that might appear. I don't really know exactly how many, so we have the radio on from the morning, early morning, and just leave it on all day. And whatever appears. Like, there's so many groups around. It's amazing. It's amazing just to see the kids come up. Because they don't only do the communication part of the Jamboree there, or the Baden Powell Scouts have to say Roti Rota, not the Jamboree, the Yota. And it's amazing to see the kids not only do the radio communication part, but also the other part, like, signaling and all the other activities that they do outside there, outside the premises there. So it's going to be, I think I have to put a pair of headphones on and a box of Panadols anyway. So anyway, we'll be on all day, and on Saturday till the late afternoon anyway, and Sunday morning again. But we will have a handheld on the repeater. So we'll wait and see what happens. I hope that helps. Jerry Kiyosam.
Yeah, perfect. As you know, I like to talk to the Scouts too on Jamboree on the air, and this is the only way, connecting via Echolink. because I don't have any HF equipment, of course, that's set up, that I can participate. But I'm looking forward to it. My, it just came up fast. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, everybody. N7APW.
G3Ts, yes, Jerry, they'll be on. Certainly, Joe will be on, and whoever's with him will be on the internet from Mosta Fort. And I hope to be there as well. I hope to be able to visit them while I'm in Malta next week and the week after. N7APW G3Ts.
Bill, I hope our schedules meet, and I'll be able to talk to you from there. I look forward to it. N7APW. Thank you.
G3TZM, Type Hafna Jerry, and yeah, I hope so too. Part of my job in Malta next week is some training. I've got 70 people to train next week, training in communications. Sahash B, see you later. I'll stand by until the end. G3TZM.
APW standing by.
This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Are there any further contributions next this evening? This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha standing by.
Nine Hotel 2 Juliet Golf.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, my condolences to Marco and all the family. It's a very sad news, but I don't know what to say about that. Secondly, well done, Trevor, and everybody who contributed. Regarding Joe's activity, a small correction, not Fort Mosta, but Tarja battery, because Fort Mosta it's currently used by AFM and some police, the dog squad. It's Tarja battery, not Fort Mosta. You're still on that? This is 9 Hotel 2 Juliet Golf, standing by.
Yes, Jonathan, thanks. My fault. Yes, it's Tarja battery.
Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Ian, your communication got cut off at the last bit. I'm not sure if you said anything else afterwards. So could you repeat the last sentence, perhaps? This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. That was Bill, not Ian.
Yeah, from G3TZM. Okay, yeah, I said it's my fault. I'm sorry. I was quite. I made a mistake. Yes, it is the Tarja battery where they normally meet. We've spent many happy hours up there with all sorts of activities with the scouts and the guides in the place with barbecues and the Jota as well over many years. G3T
G2Q to them. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Any other feedback? This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. If there isn't any other feedback, I'll close the net, but if there is feedback, please come ahead. Go ahead.
Good evening at 7-3, and thank you once again, Tony. This is Trevor, 9H5CS. Good night, go ahead.
Okay.
Hi, Trevor, and thanks a lot to you for the very interesting topic. And yeah, I'll probably get you again once my device arrives. Back to the net. This is 9 Hotel 5 Foxtrot Alpha. Okay, hearing no further feedback, I think we can bring this net to a close and stop the YouTube stream. Participant 1 obviously wants to remain on standby and would like to continue the chat. Please, let's all feel free to do so. Thank you very much, everyone, for today's net. And it was extremely interesting, and thanks for the feedback and for the updates regarding. And we'll meet again today fortnight, same time, the 93rd edition. Foxtrot Alpha, closing down the net. 73s to everyone. I'll remain on standby for a few extra minutes. Thanks a lot, everyone.